you felt you had with, when it came to clarity?
Well, not expressing things in real time. You
Mhm.
know, everyone, I'm not saying that we don't need time to kind of process things and clear our heads so that we are in the best, so that we're in the best position to have a effective conversation. But I know for myself, and even with people that I have dated or friends that I've had, we weren't always able to tackle things in real time because we were so caught up in the emotion of everything. And although we can be mature enough to say, hey, I need some time to process it, another component of maturity is also knowing that you need to discuss certain things in real time. You need to be able to process in real time and have that conversation.
Definitely.
So I think that has been in times a struggle of mine on my end, me being that person, and depending on who it is, because there's levels to it, right? And it's happened on the receiving end with a lot of people where they can't really discuss it in real time, and we're tabling multiple discussions. And again, like I said, everyone should be in the best mindset to have a conversation, but how often should we be waiting for the other person to catch up to you?
Definitely.
It gets a little draining sometimes.
I mean, that's where you talk about being in an equal relationship.
Yeah.
Making sure you're looking across the table and seeing somebody that's your equal. So you're not always what they would say dumbing down or waiting for somebody to catch up to you. You always know that you're on the same page.
Hmm.
I would say one of my greatest issues when it came to being clear was exactly what you just said. When you discuss religion versus faith, the assumption that a person knows what you're talking about, the assumption that a person is on that same page, which goes back to feeling like you're with an equal, and then you're, you know, using words that may not be defined the same way. And instead of understanding that it may not be defined the same way, I tend to get upset that they didn't grasp that concept the way I said it. Because in context, I thought it made perfect sense in the context of the sentence or the context of the paragraph or what I was talking about, the context of the discussion. But you don't realize when you take a step back how unclear that word can be because it can go either way. And obviously I've been wrong in that area. So, I had to work on those things when it came to being clear in a relationship. But for the most part, obviously clarity is my thing. I think it's very important to be clear. But I mean, that's one of the areas I knew I had to work on because I, obviously study relationships, live relationships, love relationships, and it's my passion. So when somebody is not on that same page, it's hard for me to swallow. It's hard for me to think, how could you not be into relationships where relationships are all around you? It's everything around you, you know?
Well, it's everything around us, but also when it's something that you are totally absorbed in and something that you study, it's like you see things way clearer a lot faster than most people.
Definitely.
So it's really people trying to catch up to you and being comfortable catching up to you. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to acknowledge that someone is a lot more versed than you are, or they know more information, or they have a lot more experience. It's all good to say those things, but to believe it and be okay with it and learn from it is a whole other thing. And to be able to coexist with that person,
Definitely.
because everyone wants to play a certain role within a relationship. What role do you want to play? What role could you play? Because some roles are taken, right?
Definitely.
So it's like acknowledging that, like I am in most of my life, I'm the leader, in 95% in every area that I'm in, except for maybe one or two,
Mhm.
and it's really understanding or accepting that that's the case, and not trying to bulldoze my way into being the leader in areas where I'm not really the strongest, even though I am strong in certain areas. That's just, I'm around another person that is stronger.
Definitely.
So